When was the 20th century, and how should we study it? In this first-year module, we examine the global history of the 20th century, and we focus on connections, both across regions and over time. However, it is not always clear what exactly historians mean when they talk about the 20th century. For some scholars, like Eric Hobsbawm, the 20th century is an age of extremes, a century of dictatorship and totalitarianism, of liberal democracy, and of communism and capitalism. For Hobsbawm, the age of extremes began with a bang, with the First World War, and in this light we can think of a so-called short 20th century of around 80 years long. For other scholars, the major themes of the century had already started to emerge by the 1880s, when new technologies and new connections seemed to make the world smaller, and when mass consumer culture and mass democracy began to take off. But whether we think of the 20th century as long or short, we can think of it as an era of connection on a scale never seen before. The 20th century brought globalization and perhaps westernization, with the consumption of Hollywood movies or of Coca-Cola across the world. It also saw movements for global cooperation, democracy, and human rights, fostered by international organizations like the United Nations. Not least, the 20th century brought the rise of movements to prevent war and nuclear death. However, the 20th century was also a time of fragmentation, when national rivalries sparked world wars and genocide, such as the Holocaust and ethnic cleansing in Bosnia, Rwanda, and Armenia. It saw the rise of decolonization and national liberation movements that imploded empires. And of course, it witnessed the decades-long division of the globe during the Cold War, which split Western democracies and communist states. Through your lectures, seminars, and written work on HST 117, you will get a chance to consider these key themes of periodization and connection, as well as reflecting on the turning points and developments which have shaped the 20th century. You will get a chance to figure out what you think are the most defining features of that turbulent period. We look forward to welcoming you onto the module.